Okay, so I'm doing another example of a loan repayment. So this time I've got a television priced at $6,000 is sold under the following conditions. Deposit 10%, no repayments until 6 months. Interest rate equals 12% per annum, compounding monthly. Repayments are due every 3 months. How much is each repayment if the term of the loan is 2 years? Okay, so firstly let's look at the deposit. So the deposit was 10%. So 10% 0.1 of the $6,000, which is 600. 10% of 6,600. So the actual loan is the 6,000 minus the deposit, which is $5,400. The rate of interest is 12% per annum, but it compounds monthly. So divide that by 12, 0.01. And N in this case is the number of quarters. So because 3 months is a quarter, so 2 times 4 quarters in a year, 4 lots of 3 months in a year. So 8 quarters is the term of the loan. Okay, with 8 quarters, technically you could just write out what it is for 8 quarters total, but that would be quite laborious. I wouldn't want to do it. Okay, so let's have a look. So the amount owing after 3 months. Now I've done this in 3 months because the payments are at quarters. I could have actually really skipped this 3-month one and gone to straight to 6 months, just by putting 6 months of interest on. But I think it's interesting to look at it. I didn't have to do this, but I decided I would. So I'm going to call it A1 because it's the first quarter, because things are happening quarterly here. So after the first quarter, we borrowed $5,400. Now interest compounds every month. So this is 3 months, it's compound interest. So to the power of 3, okay? So after 6 months, we'll call that our A2 because that's 2 quarters. Now, there haven't been any repayments yet. This is where we make our first repayment now. There were no repayments at the 3-month mark. Our first repayment is at 6 months. So we've got that 500. There are now 6 months worth of interest on that. And now we make our first repayment. Okay, so we didn't need this line. We could have gone straight to there. I just put it in. So that's after the second quarter. So after the third quarter is A3. So now this is where we need our little formula, where it's our A2 amount, which has another 3 months of interest on it, minus another repayment. Now remember, for A2, write your big brackets first for your A2, times 1.01 cubed minus m. Okay, let's fill in those brackets. So our A2 is 5400, 1.01 to the power of 6 minus m. Okay, let's expand our brackets. So that times that and that times that. So 5400, 1.01 to the power of 6 plus 3, because we're multiplying, so we add the powers, minus m times that 1.01 cubed minus another m. Okay, so that's our A3. Now I've actually done an A4 here as well because I really want to go until I've got 3 terms in my geometric sequence. We really want to see the pattern very clearly, and for any, series, not sequence, because we're adding, in this case subtracting, but we really want to have at least 3 terms to see it, okay? So I have gone to A4. So our A4 is our A3 with another 3 months worth of interest minus another repayment. So our big brackets for our A3 times our 1.01 cubed minus another m. Fill in the brackets from our third quarter. 1.01 to the power of 9 minus m times 1.01 cubed minus m. Expand those brackets. So you can really start to see how this is a very repetitive process. Okay, so our power was 9 here, 3 there, so our power is now 12. Minus m 1.01 to the power of 6, 3 plus 3 is 6, minus m 1.01 to the power of 3, minus another m. Okay, so that's going to be what we look at to work out what we would owe in the nth quarter. So this n, remember, is going to be 8. Technically we could do A8 here and just work out straight away what it would be for 8. I do like to write it for n first. Actually, you know what? I think I won't this time. I did it last time. You saw it last time. I think I might go straight to the 8th quarter. We'll work it out as we go. Okay, so the 8th quarter. So A8 equals. Now it is a little bit tricky to work this one out. And in order to work out my powers, I did a little table of values. So I might just fill that in up here. So I said my n, when it was A2, A3, and A4, what was my power on the compound interest? Okay, my compound interest power. Okay, so at A2, my power was 6. At A3, my power was 9. And at A4, my power was 12. And I need to work out a little formula there for what it's going to be at 8. Now, you could just keep going up. But what if this number was a whole lot bigger? We really need to find the pattern here. But what you can see, these go up in 3s. The 3 times tables go up in 3s. It's got to be something to do with 3 times something. And it is straight there. It is just 3 times n. Now, I've also got my highest power on my m, on my repayments. So it's my repayments power. So when A2, my repayment power was 0. Remember, this is 1.01 to the power of 0. My repayment power is 0. At A3, my highest power is 3. And at A4, my highest power is 6. Now, these still go up in 3, so they're still like the 3 times tables. So it's still going to start at 3n, but it's also minus 6. It's the same as this line, but 6 less. These powers are always 6 less than those powers. So it's 3n minus 6. That's my power. Now, my n is 8. Okay, so they're actually going to be 24, and 6 less than 24, which is 18. We could have worked that out a bit in any other way as well, but if that number was huge, it would have been very useful to have this. So 24 and 18 are my powers. Okay, so let's have a look at the 8th quarter. So this power, okay, my 3n is 24. Okay, always 3 times this number. Now, my highest power on my repayments is 6 less than that. It's 18. And that's going to go on and on and on for a certain number of repayments. I'll come back to what that number is in a minute. My third to last one is going to be a power of 6. So I'm just writing these 3 out again. A lot of the reason this is really long is because we're rewriting stuff over and over and over again. Okay, so as before, let's factorize out that m. So 5400 1.01 to the 24 minus m bracket. So I've got 1.01 to the 18. Remember, the minuses are all going to be pluses now because I factored a minus out. Okay, so that's that one. Now this one, 1.01 to the 6. Now this one, 1.01. So the minus m has come out, cubed, minus 1. Flip that around the other way. Now, look, if you didn't write this first term on every single line because you're in a hurry, you probably wouldn't lose marks. The order you do things in at this stage of the process can be varied slightly. If you get really good at this, you can skip some lines. I actually personally don't like to. If I'm doing this myself, I find it a lot clearer if I do write out every single line, but it is time consuming. Okay, and it's only worth a few marks, but if you know this well, this is what it will give you your band 6. Okay, this is really what you need to know. Okay, now remember this is a GP, geometric progression, and we need to work out how many terms there are in it. So first of all, our first term is 1, again. It often is in these, most of the time it will be. If we left the m in, our first term would be m, but don't worry about that if that makes no sense. Our r, remember we divide terms to find our r, so that divided by that is 1.01 cubed divided by 1. Now n, our number of terms. Now I'm going to come back to my table here. Okay, so the number of terms. So let's look at how many terms had an m in them in A2. At A2 there was 1 term with an m. At A3 there were 2 terms with m. At A4 there were 3 terms with m. So we're seeing it just goes up 1 each time, but it's always 1 less than our n. So down here, when we're doing A8, we're actually going to go to 7. Okay, there are actually 7 terms in here. Now, it's a little bit confusing here because this n here is a different n from that n there in this particular case. Okay, usually those numbers will be the same. The reason that's 1 less is because of that month that didn't have a repayment. Normally it will be 8, but in this case it's 1 less repayment, so it's only 7. Okay, so remember this is now completely paid off, so this is going to equal 0. So our A8 will be 0. We've got 5400, 1.01 to the power of 24 minus m times our geometric series. I'm not going to write the a equals 1 at the moment. I'm just going to do my 1.01 cubed to the power of 7. Okay, remember this is our formula, r to the n minus 1 over r minus 1. A out the front, but our a is 1. Minus 1 over 1.01 cubed minus 1. Okay, that's a bit complicated, but it's not too bad. Okay, I'm going to put this in my calculator now. So 0 equals 5400, 1.01 to the 24 minus m times, put it all in the calculator exactly like that, or obviously you can multiply the powers there, that's power of 21. But if you put that all in your calculator, you get 7.669, etc. Remember, we're going to use our answer button. When we use our answer button, you should always just put ... there. Okay, let's add that to each side. So we're going to add m 7.669, etc. there. We're going to add it over here as well. Add it onto each side of our equation. I'm going to write the number before the letter because you're used to seeing it that way. So 7.669 times m. I didn't write the ... but technically I should have because I am still using the whole number, but it's not that big a deal. But do use the answer button in your calculator for accuracy. So divide each side by that number next to m. Okay. And put that in your calculators as 5400 times 1.01 to the power of 24 divided by 7.66, divided by answer button, sorry. Press the answer button. And our repayments are $894.01, rounded to the nearest cent.